that you made that.
Hey guys, welcome to our first edition of what we call solo reviews.
In this first edition, we're bringing to you our final statements on the Nike PG4.
So taking a closer look at the Nike PG4s, the first thing you notice when you slip them on is the insane amount of comfort you receive from the full-length air strobe unit, which is found directly under the insole.
The Nike PG4 air strobe unit is hands down the best cushion setup we've ever hooped in. The downside to this amazing cushion is the lack of responsiveness you get when changing speed, changing of direction, and rebounding.
So this cushion setup is made directly for impact protection and comfort rather than bounciness and responsiveness.
As far as the midsole goes, it provides a good amount of impact protection.
As far as the materials go, you get what you pay for in that the materials aren't the most premium, but they're also not the worst.
The upper consists of a dual layer mesh shroud, the outer being a complete mesh and the inner being a thinner, more netted mesh.
Within this mesh shroud is a neoprene or textile one booty upper with a nylon lacing system. There is a synthetic material used for the heel counter.
Lastly, there is a TPU support overlay located located on the medial side of the mesh rod.
For the traction, it is made up of dual circles with double filed lines in between where the circles do not touch. As you can see, the circles represent the air strobel unit, and like I said, the lines fill in the spaces where the circles can provide traction.
This traction setup was very proficient, wasn't exceptional, was very much above adequate level traction.
So for clean courts, you'll be completely fine.
On a more dustier setting, you're gonna feel a lot of inconsistency. Just to keep that in mind, like a hard wipe, I'd say every couple plays is necessary if you don't want to slip out.
The most lacking feature of this shoe is definitely the lockdown, because although it isn't horrible, it's just above decent and it gets its job done.
Continuing with that idea, there was a couple of times my foot would slide off the footbed when changing my direction quickly and when moving laterally.
The TPU support overlay prevents the slipping by a small but noticeable amount, and like I said, it gets the job done. Lockdown is adequate, with the zipper providing a significant difference. Hooping in the shoe unzipped really was not a great experience. Your foot slides everywhere, you just have no lockdown whatsoever. Just make sure you always hoop with the shoe zipped up. I don't know why you wouldn't, and yeah. So here are just a few things that you should take into consideration.
Fit's really small. Definitely should consider getting a half size up if you want a really snug fit, but I definitely highly recommend getting a full size up if you want like at least a couple millimeters of space between your foot and the toe box. For me, that just felt more comfortable, but definitely try these in on store if possible.
If you take these outside, the traction will definitely be destroyed. The durability is questionable. I'm not really expecting these to last for more than a year and a half, especially if they're being used constantly. So those were our final thoughts on each of the different parts of the shoe. Now our final ratings. I'm going to give the traction a 7 out of 10 just because I've been hooping on very dusty courts lately. They just haven't been performing as consistently as they have been on non-dusty courts, especially with the translucent sole. As you can see from the Gatorade colorway, it does not have the translucent sole. But because I have very explosive movements, I really need a shoe that can consistently perform even on dusty courts.
As for me, traction, it's an 8 out of 10. I feel like your solid rubber option will always have to be a go-to for me. I was never really sliding out on your local LA Fitness court, but however, there was multiple times when I had to give a hard wipe in order to stay consistent.
Now for containment, I'm gonna give that a 6 out of 10 because, as I said earlier, I am more of an explosive player. I like cutting very hard, crossing over like very aggressively, you know. And I just found that my foot was slipping out of the footbed like more than I would have wanted. That's 6 out of 10.
As far as for me, it's practically the same thing, but however, I feel like since I'm a lighter guard, I'm not going to be sliding around in the footbed as much as Kelvin.
Now on to support. I'm going to give the support a 7.5 out of 10. I believe that the zipper really provides a good extra amount of support rather than just having the laces. And yeah, it's much better than my Kyrie 5s where I was constantly rolling my ankles. And I swear I rolled my ankles like 50 times in them. But yeah. And finally, cushion, the best part of this shoe. This is gonna have to be a 10 out of 10. I could hoop in this shoe for hours on end. I played back to back games, and I could hoop for like a long time. I'm saying.
As for me, no question, 10 out of 10.
So finally, our final statement, will this have to go in the bag or will it have to stay on the shelf? For me, one will have to go in the bag because of the cushioning, but the other one will have to go in the garbage because of everything else.
As for me, I'm gonna have to lay it on the shelf one time, because besides cushioning, everything else is pretty much adequate at most. With that being said, you already know the drill. I'm We out.